Right now at noon, Cherokee County, Kansas commissioners learn about the potential economic impact of a proposed solar farm.
And we've had those storms down south. More thunderstorm chances still on the way. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, on day 5 in Texas, rescuers are still scrambling to find the missing, adding to the staggering death toll.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. New at noon today, a Southeast Kansas man has been arrested by the KBI for child sex crimes. Yesterday, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, the Labette County Sheriff's Office, arrested 35-year-old David Stevens of Edna. He's charged with 6 counts of exploitation of a child, including possession of media involving a child under the age of 18. Stevens was booked into the Labette County Jail. His first court appearance is scheduled for this afternoon. And the OSBI identifies human remains found last week north of Jay, Oklahoma. The Delaware County Sheriff says someone brush hogging a field discovered the remains around 11 a.m. last Monday morning and called authorities. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation took over the case and has now identified the victim as Colton Woods. The investigation is still active. You can find updates on KOAMnewsnow.com. And a police chase ended in the parking lot of Joplin's Lowe's store yesterday after a series of crashes. The chase of a suspected stolen vehicle began in Webb City. Police say the vehicle hit a utility pole and traveled south on Range Line through Joplin, causing at least 3 crashes. Authorities used spike strips to slow the vehicle, then boxed it in the Lowe's parking lot. They've arrested a 35-year-old Joplin man in that case. He's suspected in the burglary of a business on Joplin's East 7th Street, in addition to the vehicle theft. Authorities say we should expect additional charges for assault on an officer, property damages, and other crimes. Let's head over now to Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're still holding out for additional scattered storms to roll in this afternoon. Still a lot of disagreement, maybe not a lot, but there's still some disagreement on exactly what's going to take place over the next couple of hours. But we are still expecting some additional thunderstorm development, which we will talk about in a moment. First, live look downtown Pittsburgh. We've got partly to mostly cloudy skies out there. Same from the MoDOT camera here at 20th and Range Line in Joplin, of course, looking back to the north. On the Skywatch Storm Tracker, most of the rain now, those showers and storms that would just not let go of Delaware County, have finally shifted south. We've had clearing back behind, so now what we're looking at is for the potential of development right around in this zone in the next 3 or 4 hours. We started yesterday below normal by just a hair, and technically we were below normal as well with the high of only 89. So again, still not a bad start to July. There's those clouds. That's what we want to watch, is those cumulus clouds for potential storm development. 82 in Joplin, feels like 87. Dew point humidity both up there. Same on the Kansas side. 84 feels like 92 with that dew point at 75. Humidity 74%. Where it rained, obviously cooler. Where it hasn't, obviously warmer. Low, mid, and upper 80s, putting those heat index values where it hasn't rained yet into the low 90s for many of us. Back through the low 80s as we head into the evening. Storms wrapping up 7, 8 o'clock. Mostly cloudy overnight. We'll have another full look at your forecast, break down our storm chances today and possibly tomorrow here in just a few minutes. Elise?
On Central Texas, first responders and volunteers are still searching for victims in the devastating floods that killed more than 100 people, including at least 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic. Almost a dozen girls from the camp are still missing. Karen Hua has more.
Rescue teams continue to search for anyone who might still be alive along the Guadalupe River in central Texas. They're using drones equipped with thermal sensors to try to spot any survivors.
I can assure you we will not stop until this mission is complete.
State and local officials are coming under scrutiny over the planning for storms as deadly as this one. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick told CBS that Texas could fund warning sirens, and he thinks legislators can take it up this month.
So had all those sirens going off, maybe that would spark people to say we have a massive disaster like 5 minutes away.
Hard-hit Kerr County is part of an area known as Flash Flood Alley, but it's never invested in a siren warning system.
Everyone would agree in hindsight, if we could go back and do it again, we would evacuate particularly those in the most vulnerable areas, the young children in the cabins closest to the water. We would remove them and get them to higher ground.
Along with the destruction here and crushing human loss, residents are also sharing stories of survival. With the Guadalupe River rising, Christian Fell says he struggled to find higher ground as the water rose all around him Friday morning.
I realized the window was broken, so I swam through the window and I was standing on that meter box right there for the next 3 hours.
Among the rubble that used to be Camp Mystic, Fletcher Cordell searched for anything left behind by his 11-year-old daughter Olivia.
She had her charm bracelet laid out, and she's been asking about that a lot.
Olivia survived the deadly flooding, rescued by helicopter. Cordell says she's only starting to process the disaster, and the bracelet is important to her.
I'll stay here as long as I can till it's, found, and if I don't find it, I'll come back.
Hundreds of girls were at Camp Mystic early Friday morning when the floodwaters started raging. About a dozen campers are still missing. Karen Hua, CBS News, Kerrville, Texas.
Well, Cherokee County commissioners yesterday heard the results of an economic impact study of a proposed solar farm. The Wichita State University Center for Economic Development and Business Research presented the study for Rainbow Springs, a proposed solar farm southeast of Columbus. 300 jobs would be added during the construction and 8 jobs would be added for the maintenance of the farm once completed. The total estimated impact is $531.5 million. The commissioners asked the Clearway Energy Group to come back with economic impact numbers on completed solar farms.
Ultimately, no decisions are going to be made on commercial solar farms in Cherokee County until the Planning and Zoning Board comes up with their comprehensive plan.
At least one county commissioner says he's heard from constituents who oppose the solar farm plan. No decision will be made on the solar farm until the zoning committee comes back with their plan in June 2026. Well, big improvements are coming to some roads and bridges in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. A new $7.2 million project will upgrade South 520 Road and East 120 Road, including a brand new bridge over Coal Creek. Now, it's all part of a statewide plan approved just yesterday by the Oklahoma Transportation Commission. The county improvement for roads and bridges plan covers the next 5 years from 2026 to 2030 and includes nearly $930 million in funding. Ottawa County is one of 77 counties to benefit. And drivers in Joplin should prepare for a temporary road closure starting tomorrow. South St. Louis Avenue between 7th and 6th Streets will be closed daily from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. as fire gas crews perform utility work in the area. Weather permitting, the closure will run from tomorrow until Friday. And drivers in multiple counties in Missouri might also want to find alternate routes starting next week. MoDOT crews will be out in 5 counties for pavement sealing work beginning July 14th. Those counties are Barton, Jasper, Lawrence, Berry, and Stone. Drivers can expect one-lane traffic flaggers and pilot cars where crews are working. And for the first time, Pineville residents are getting access to free dental care on wheels. The McDonald County Health Department partnered with the Elks Mobile Dental Program to provide vital preventative care to individuals with intellectual developmental disabilities and U.S. veterans. And fair season is finally here, and the 68th annual Jasper County Youth Fair is in full swing. This morning, 4-H exhibitors showed off their livestock and all of their hard work at the Horse and Mule Show. And coming up, the president's budget bill may mean more take-home money on tips. We'll take a look. And later, we're making honey garlic drumsticks in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. People receiving a tip as part of their income may see a financial boost from the president's budget bill, but not everyone will get the same impact. According to Michelle Goldsberry, a tax expert in Southwest Missouri, that money may not go straight to a worker's pocket. She says if you make $50,000 and you have $10,000 in tips, that will lower your income to $40,000, which is what you'll pay taxes on. Up to $25,000 in tips can be deducted. President Trump and his administration are trying to finalize a peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Natalie Brand has more.
President Trump is convening his cabinet for a 6th time with foreign policy in focus this week. The administration is pushing for a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, a topic discussed during the president's dinner with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last night.
In the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, what's currently the holdup?
I don't think there is a holdup. I don't think there's a holdup. I think things are going along very well.
The White House says Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, will travel to Doha where talks are happening. An official briefed on negotiations tells CBS News the deal would involve a 60-day pause in fighting with a phased release of hostages and the withdrawal of Israeli troops from parts of Gaza, as well as discussions on a permanent end to the conflict. The president also indicated talks between the U.S. and Iran will happen soon, saying he hopes the conflict between Israel and Iran is over.
I think Iran wants to meet. I think they want to make peace, and I'm all for it. Now, if that's not the case, we are ready, willing, and able.
According to Iranian news reports, Iran's foreign ministry denies that it's reached out to the U.S. for talks, but Iran's president has said Tehran is open to dialogue with the United States. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Still to come, Mr. Food.
When it comes to making dinner, it needs to be fast, budget-friendly, and easy. Today, we've got a recipe that fits all those requirements.
And scattered thunderstorm chances still on the horizon today, possibly tomorrow, as well as hot and humid conditions. The latest when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we've got those hot and muggy conditions. We've got a mix of sun and clouds, and we still have some chances for thunderstorms. Quick look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Again, you can see we've got partly to mostly cloudy skies. In the case of Pittsburgh there, we are looking at mostly cloudy skies. Showers, thunderstorms from earlier moving out of the area. Still some showers into parts of McDonald, Newton, Berry, and Delaware counties. But I want to throw on the satellite because you'll see here where we've got the clouds kind of trying to thicken up and deepen out here off to the northwest, and there's at least the expectation we could get some thunderstorm development along this boundary as all of this activity continues to shift off to the south and east. As such, our severe threat, although it is still just a 1 out of 5 risk, is still in place. We do have the isolated hail threat out there, and we also have the isolated damaging wind risk out there for the entire area because those thunderstorm chances are still there. We talked about the cap and the situation this morning. Data is suggesting that, let's see, it's 12:16, probably a little after 3 or so, we're expecting some kind of initiation out there. Again, with what's happened this morning and just some of the conflicting data, Future Track's even having a hard time picking up on it. But we're looking still at thunderstorm chances that'll continue to push south and east. I think based on latest trends this morning and into the early afternoon here, I think we'll see a few more thunderstorms than what Future Track is hitting at, but we'll have to kind of wait and see how that progresses into the afternoon. And again, some of those could be those strong to low-grade severe storms with the hail and damaging winds as the primary concern. Now, one thing that Future Track this morning, only one of them was suggesting was thunderstorm chances heading into tomorrow afternoon. Well, the others are starting to come on board as well. There's still mixed readings on what kind of storm coverage. We're not looking at this point anything severe, but we are still looking at scattered storms developing as we head into tomorrow afternoon, say after 2, around 3 o'clock or so. Initially, it's kind of just pop-up storms, but we may get some organized activity, still scattered, but somewhat more organized thunderstorm activity as we roll through tomorrow evening before it starts to die out by the late evening hours. So again, a few changes. Future Track, the one that was suggesting the storms, still suggesting those storms, but it scaled them down in coverage just a little. But other data is starting to kind of come on board. We talked about that this morning as well, where the other models that showed no storms tomorrow did say we'd have the ingredients for just general thunderstorms, but they didn't believe there'd be that spark. They're starting to think there might be that spark. Again, it's not a panic situation. We're not talking severe weather tomorrow, just simply thunderstorm chances is a possibility. Could have a few linger into the early morning hours on our Thursday. After that, though, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, and temperatures will really begin to heat up across the area over the next few days. As for today, still looking at those thunderstorms out there later this afternoon. Upper 80s, southwest winds 5 to 10. Into tonight, mostly cloudy, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Low 70s out there, light and variable breeze. Light and variable breeze tomorrow, a little hotter, right around 90. Still watching those scattered storm chances, and we'll have pop-up storms into the weekend. And then temperatures next week, as we dry out, they heat up going into the low, maybe even some mid-90s at times. So get ready for July to really kick in over the next few days.
All right, that certainly looks like it. Chris, thanks. Well, stick around. We're making honey garlic drumsticks in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, today's Mr. Food recipe is a delicious and flavorful dinner, perfect for any weeknight. Howard's making honey garlic drumsticks in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When we think about what to make for dinner, the things that concern us the most are, is it easy to make? How much time will it take? And is it budget friendly? Well, if that sounds like you, then you're not alone. So let me share a recipe that scores well in all those categories. We start by seasoning a couple dozen chicken drumsticks with salt and pepper before roasting them off. And if you're not familiar with how budget friendly they are, let me tell you, are you ever in for a nice surprise? While they're roasting, we throw together a glaze, which is simply some honey, chopped garlic, and a couple shakes of hot pepper sauce. Now we slather the par-baked chicken with the glaze and back into the oven they go until the coating caramelizes and the skin gets crispy. See, I told you. It's cheap, easy, and it takes no time to throw together. What we end up with is the juiciest, most flavored packed chicken you've had in a long time. And if you want to try this glaze on other cuts of chicken, go ahead, be my guest. So what are you waiting for? Go online and get the recipe for our honey garlic drumsticks so you can have a new dish to add to your weeknight dinner routine. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an easier, budget-friendly way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website, koamnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, still expecting additional scattered storms as we head through the afternoon. Still could see some storms tomorrow afternoon, something we just want to keep an eye on. As some of the storms later today could be strong, severe with some small hail, gusty winds, so we'll monitor that for you as well.
All right, Chris, thanks. And coming up tonight at 5, the Transportation Security Administration is phasing out its nearly 20-year shoe removal policy. We're going to take a look at what's behind the change. Plus, a local effort to bring disaster relief supplies to those impacted by the flash floods in Texas. And the Spiva Center for the Arts is seeking art submissions for a veteran exhibit. You can join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.